got it started. We on the journey. I want to welcome everybody in the Spreaker app. Let y'all know that hopefully the dings is going out. I see that the numbers is going up for the app. Thank you to all those that are taking the time to do the download. We're about to go up live on Facebook. Yep. It's Daily Toast time. Daily Toast time. Grab your glass. Get up. Get on that. Great day. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We done did our little run. We done got our breaths in. Did our little meditation. Now it's time for us to drink some water. Right? So we'll get this thing rolling right. Let me update this. Just in case we got people that want to talk to me on Spreaker. Let people know where they can get the t-shirts. By the way, speaking of the t-shirts, I ran into an issue, and what I need is a graphic designer. I will ask again. I need a graphic designer. Somebody. I'm gonna try to do some work on it today, but my the upload that I was about to try to get printed out didn't work out right. So I need someone who is able to do graphic design. You can hit us up at 614-300-1875. Text me 614-300-1875. It's a very simple thing. I want this, and I want what's on the back, and I'll send it all to you. I already got it formatted the way that it needs to be uploaded. They just saying something about the DPI is too low or something like that, and I'm gonna try to increase it because I got a program where I can try to increase it a little bit. But I am going to definitely need some assistance. Great emoji to you, Brother Kwame. Great emoji to you, my friend. So we got, like I said, man, this thing is almost 30 ounces. Look at that. This right here this is one of my favorite waters, by the way. I ain't gonna give them no free advertisement, but this is about 32 ounces. It is 33.8 ounces. I got exactly that much left. So I'm trying to tell y'all that this is at least 30 ounces, a 30-ounce glass. So let's get it popping, right? First, I need to let you know you are now listening and rocking with the best. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Yes, Lord. And you know this is the Daily Toast. And of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simple production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms.
Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Flavor. Wake up. Come on. Drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. What should it be? Breathe, drink. Then lift your glass and drink some water. Curl your glass and drink some water. Press your glass and drink some water. Just drink your water. Drink. Drink. Move your body. Drink, 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 drink. I think I will. Drink, drink, drink. Don't try to hide behind the sleeping bag. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Drink, 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 drink. Breathe, live, move, live. Let's try it again. Take your breath and drink. Move your body, drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Break down, break down, break down, break down, break down, break down, break down. Drink, 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 drink. Great Umoja to each and every last one of y'all. Thank you for taking the time for stopping in and visiting Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Yo, hey, so, of course, you know we gathered to toast the ancestors. There's no show tonight, so we are going to just run through what we supposed to run through. But, man, I'm sitting up here like, family, it's so hard. It's so hard. So, I get up a little bit earlier this morning, believe it or not, because I'm running late. Got up a little bit earlier, went through some of the news, and so it's this young sister, and the name of her show on YouTube is called The Great Griot. The Great Griot. I got several posts of her on our timeline. And I'm just suggesting, family, those people that's really interested in like, because like I got a lot of stuff I check out on YouTube, but hers, she's very impressive. She does a very good job. She does she does some good research, and it's short. Most of her stuff is like 15 minutes or less. So, she got one up where it's America's Wealth from the backs of our ancestors. I mean, she does a great job. I also got on here on the timeline, Gye-Nyame Journey timeline. Check out Ghanaian boys use cassava to generate electricity. They were determined to come up with a way of generating electricity for their little village, and they made it happen with what they had. You know what I'm saying? Great concept. We have, hold on, there we go. The Tawi Family Village presents Queen Mother Moore, an African-American woman celebration, July 28th, 2018 at the Shepherd Library, 790 North Nelson Road from 3:15 to 6 p.m. featuring Tracy Overbay and Rashida Payne Abdul Haq. We're going to be talking about urban gardening and sustainable food systems. And I think me and Cleve might be on the agenda as well. So, hey, this is going to be Cleve's first. I don't know if this is his first speaking engagement, but it might be. We're going to see how little Cleve going to do. I'm going to try to be quiet. Let him handle his business. All right, but the thing that caught my eye this morning was an article by a dude by the name of Larry Elder. Larry Elder. Many of y'all may have heard of him. This is from the Tribune Democrat. Larry Elder, Slavery, What They Didn't Teach in my high school. What they didn't teach in my high school. And the reason that I posted it, because at first I wasn't even gonna post it. Because I don't know what this is about. What is this? Alright. Let me allow it. Alright, that I wasn't gonna read it. Because it's this type of Lady J come on the show. She always talk about propaganda. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of her key pieces, propaganda. And she is correct in the importance of propaganda, right? You know, shaping the minds of the people. You use propaganda to shape the minds of the people, to get the people where you want them to be and thinking in the way that you want them to be. And you often use people that look like the people that you want to control to deepen your hold on them. And Larry Elder appears, to be one of these individuals that's being used against us. Because when I first caught the article, I said, hey, yeah, let's see what this is talking about. Larry Elder, slavery, what they didn't teach in my high school. Now I want y'all to listen to this, because this is one of the ways that they kind of get us with this whole reparations piece, because I want y'all to listen to some of the arguments. So I might not read the whole thing, but I want y'all to hang in there with me. I'm going to try to read as much as I possibly can, because I want to make sure we're able to salute the ancestors. So it ain't that. It's not really that long of an article, but I want you to listen to the argument. All right? Because when you think it's going one way, and then he hit you with the twist, and that's propaganda. Because what happens is that in order for me to get you to read my shit, I got to say something that's gonna get you to read, right? If I was to be like, black white conservative speaks on slavery, you wouldn't pick up the article. You can see, because there's a difference between black conservatism, a black conservative, and a black white conservative. Right? Because traditionally black folks have been conservative, because it's natural for people to be conservative. Because you're trying to conserve your culture. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, it kind of wore on us, and other stuff has got into it. So now it's no longer us conserving our culture. We have become black white conservatives. So we're black conserving whiteness, white culture, West Asian culture. Right? We have become black white conservatives, because we work against our best interests to conserve their best interests. We're conserving their ideas. We're conserving their symbolism and stuff like that. So Mr. Elder, in this article, and other things that I read and I heard from him, shows that he's a black white conservative. So his argument is going to come across in that fashion. You know what I'm saying? How can I help West Asians conserve? How can I help white America conserve? How can I help white people conserve what they have? Right? Because that's the only right thing you can do, right? Is that the only right thing that you can do, right? God said no, that's the wrong thing to do. You have to serve for yourself. You got to look out for yours, family. Alright, so let's listen to this man. A man I have known since grade school changed his name years ago to an Arabic one. He told me he rejected Christianity as the white man's religion that justified slavery. He argued Africans taken out of that continent were owed reparations. From whom, I asked. With a genuine look of puzzlement. From who, I asked. Arab slavers took more Africans out of Africa and transported them to the Middle East and to South America than European slavers took out of Africa and brought to North America. Arab slavers began taking slaves out of Africa beginning in the 9th centuries before the European slave trade and continue well after, which is all very true. But what does that have? See, this is the argument that I run into at schools, dealing with parents and dealing with kids, and it's often used, and it's called deflection, right? And we have to be aware of this type of shit, right? Well, such and such is doing it too. Why don't you say something to them? No, I'm dealing with your ass right now, right? We see, because this is what we allow. When you allow your attention to be split, right? My goal is to split your power, to split your forces, right? This is what I have to do. I got to split your attention. And you got individuals like this that will bring up shit like Arabs. Nigga, hold on. I'll deal with the Arabs after I conquer y'all asses. We're going to work on what America owes right now. Then we can get to Europe and we can get to the Arabs. But let's where we are right now, where we are feeling it right now, where the consciousness for reparations was given birth in a sense. Let's start with that now, Larry Elder. The Arabs didn't grab your ass. The Arabs didn't grab your ancestors. It was Europeans that grabbed you. You know how we know Europeans grabbed you? Because you ended up in a European colony. In Prison and Slavery, John Dewar Glenzner writes that Arabs' treatment of black Africans can aptly be termed an African Holocaust. Arabs killed more Africans in transit, especially when crossing the Sahara Desert, than Europeans and Americans, and over more centuries, both before and after the years of the Atlantic slave trade. Once again, deflection. The white man ain't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Compared to what the Arabs did, it wasn't that bad. Arab Muslims began extracting millions of black African slaves centuries before Christians' nation did. Very true. Arab slave trade. And I got a few words for them motherfuckers too. Right? But like I said, one enemy at a time. Arab slave traders removed slaves from Africa for about 13 centuries, compared to the minuscule 3 centuries of the Atlantic slave trade. It was only 300 years. You heard me, Kwame? It was only 300 years. That wasn't that much, was it, Kwame? That wasn't a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because the Arabs did 13 centuries. It wasn't a lot. What you complaining about, nigga? Why you crying? Right? Kwame, grab the tissue. Stop crying. Why y'all tripping? It was only 3 centuries. African slaves transported by Arabs across the Sahara Desert died more often than slaves making the Middle Passage. So the Middle Passage wasn't that bad compared to the passage across the Sahara Desert. Slaves invariably died within 5 years if they worked in the Ottoman Empire Sahara salt mines. So you niggas had it good over here because y'all got to live at least 6 years. On the plantations in North America, y'all got to live a little bit longer. So why y'all complaining? All this is full of deflection. This is black, white conservatism, right? You have black conservatives, let's be clear, you got black conservatives, which in many cases we should be trying to conserve, because as a conservative, you're trying to hold on to what made you good, what made you great. As a conservative, you should, as black folks, there is certain aspects of our culture that we need to conserve, right? But when you become a black, white conservative, you are a black person trying to help conserve what white people have, their wealth, their culture, all that, and that shit is not healthy, because you say shit like Arab slave traders removed slaves from Africa about 13 centuries compared to 3 centuries of the Atlantic slave trade. African slaves transported by Arabs across the Sahara Desert died more often than slaves making the Middle Passage. So what? This is the madness that we deal with. This is madness. This shit is insane. Do you hear it? Hold on, Brother Kwame say, this is such a sorry-ass argument for what he is trying to do. He should be ashamed when he takes time to reread it. No, this is how this motherfucker feeds his family, dog. He has a show. Look Larry Elder, look him up. Larry Elder, look him up. This is incredible. You know what I'm saying? The Middle Passages wasn't that bad compared to the passages across the Sahara Desert. Actually, they did us pretty good. We didn't have to walk. You got to ride in accommodations across the sea. Why didn't he just say that shit? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got the best food. Even when you didn't want to eat, they was trying to make you eat. They was looking out for you. Are you serious? My name-changing friend did not know that slavery occurred on every continent except Antarctica. Europeans enslaved other Europeans. Asians enslaved Asians. Africans enslaved other Africans. Arabs enslaved other Arabs. Native Americans even enslaved other Native Americans. He accused me of relying on white man historians who he insisted had a vested interest to lie. Now, slavery was commonplace. And you have no argument for that. But in the argument, we are justifying a wrong by saying that everybody else is doing it. Either it's wrong or it's not wrong. It does not matter what others are doing. So when you use it in your argument, are you using it to justify the wrong that you or that someone else has done? Are you saying that it's okay because everybody else has done it? Are you saying that people are not old because everybody else was doing everybody else? What is being said here? He must be stepping on Skip Gates' back and head to such that white will right, I mean, it's just, this is what we deal with, bro. This is the battle. This is the uphill battle that we face. What about Thomas Sowell? See, because now here we go. So, because this is probably a recycled article, because we may be able to go back and find other articles by him where he used the same argument, right? And the same arguments and shit. And for somebody new in what we're doing, this shit would be impressive. You got a point there. See, and this whole piece right here, this whole argument is based on the fact that slavery, because the one piece that I think a lot of us miss is that slavery was about business. It wasn't about white supremacy. It was about business. They needed to make money. They needed a free labor force. They found one. They got it. They took advantage of it, and they used it to build up this country, to build up a world power. It was business, not personal. And a lot of us get caught up in thinking that it's personal. No, the motherfuckers, the small, stupid motherfuckers at the bottom that maintain this social order, think that it's about being personal. But those on top understand that it's all about the money, right? And for us, we have to understand that it's about the money. It's not about these little arguments that this motherfucker's throwing out here about other people doing shit. I don't care. Where's my bread? You know what I'm saying? When the credit people call me, I can't say, well, Kwame didn't pay his car bill. Why you bothering me about that? Sister Navita didn't pay her gas bill, so why you calling me about my gas bill? What kind of shit is that? That's not a grown person argument. There's a fifth grader argument. I hear that shit from fifth graders, my fault, 3rd to 5th grade, all the time. Well, Johnny hit Sylvia last week and you ain't say nothing to him. What? All right. So now, this is where the argument is supposed to convince you, right? This is where the argument is supposed, because I want you to look at the shift here, and we're gonna get into the libation. I want you to look at the shift here. He accused me of relying on white historians. So remember, those of you that's just tuning in, he started his story with his friend who changed his name to an Arabic name. So now this was years ago. So this is letting you know how old Larry Elder was, because the first advent of us looking into Africa, at least in this part of the century, was us mingling with Islam, right? Before we really start doing a lot of true historical study, right? Because a lot of us thought at first that Islam was a representation of Africa. So a lot of us back in the 60s and the 70s, before the deep study, or at least the deep study start coming out, becoming more available, we started with Islam. So this lets you know where he was. So he was dealing, boom, boom, boom. All right, boom. So now, his friend, after they had a discussion, and his friend was being bombarded with this black-white conservatism, hit him, well, man, you're relying on white historians who he insisted had a vested interest in the lie. Right? This is what the brother is telling him, right? So his argument, well, what about Thomas Sowell, the brilliant economist, historian, philosopher? Now, this will be interesting, right? Because I want you to think about this. He said this was a while ago. And those of us that's been involved with this movement long enough to have seen the several transitions that we have went through in trying to discover who we were, you'll be able to time this. Now, the question I have is, and some of us could look at this, when was Thomas Sowell around? Because as Thomas Sowell is an up-to-date economist, this motherfucker's argument, first off, the argument is already dead. It's not even a good argument. You know what I'm saying? It's full of holes and shit. Now, but this part right here, if this motherfucker is using this, he's taking an argument from the 60s, and he's using a black economist that is present today. But I got to look and see when somebody please look at when Thomas Sowell was in his prime as a black economist. What about Thomas Sowell, the brilliant economist, historian, philosopher who happened to be black? He just happened to be black. Sowell writes, of all the tragic facts about the history of slavery, the most astonishing to an American today is that although slavery was a worldwide institution for thousands of years, nowhere in the world was slavery a controversial issue prior to the 18th century. Well, they over at the other school, Mr. Brown, they allow us to fight. It's not controversial to knock the shit out somebody over at the other school, so I should be able to do it at your school. Not a grown folk argument. You understand what I'm saying? This is not a grown folk. This shit is not grown folk. This is. All right. People of every race and color were enslaved and enslaved others. White people were still being bought and sold as slaves in the Ottoman Empire, decades after Americans black were freed. Well, y'all gonna get y'all reparations from the Ottoman Empire. Oh, y'all blew them motherfuckers up. Man, y'all broke that shit up. White folks broke that shit up. The Ottoman Empire no longer stands, so you can't get reparations because you tore that shit up and y'all split it up. So y'all did get reparations. So I want my goddamn reparations. Come on, family. Come on. See, these are the arguments, and this is coming from us. That's what make this shit dangerous. So, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So you should feel guilty because white folks was in slavery in the Ottoman Empire when y'all was free. You are correct about Thomas S., the black economist. He was circa the 60s, Ivy League educated, Harvard and Columbia. Okay, so cool. So he was back then. Okay, cool. So his argument, so he's being, at least we could say Larry Elder is honest. So one, and then also, this lets you know that this is an old ass story that he's recycling, and I think he might republish it in papers just so he can stay published and be able to tell motherfuckers he's been published, and be able to get shows and shit, Sowell also wrote, the region of West Africa was one of the great slave trading regions of the continent before, during, and after the white men arrived. It was the Africans who enslaved their fellow Africans. Now, first off, family, we need to be very clear about that shit. Now, let's break that down. Now, I'm gonna post up a very good video by a brother by the name of, what is the name of that? He does a real good job on African history, and with this argument where they saying Africans enslaved Africans, Africa by people within the continent was not recognized in a sense as one place, as one geographic area. There were different ethnic groups, different tribes. So it's a little bit different. So when you say Africans were selling Africans, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different than what people thinking, right? Because you had Fulani selling Akan and Akan selling Awe. So you had different groups who looked at each other and could see differences within each other, and they would, you know what I'm saying, and they wouldn't. So it's not the same as people make it. Africans selling Africans, like we all decided, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like motherfuckers is making the sound. You had different ethnic groups who came up in different places at different times, who had beef with each other, that sold each other into slavery. Now, not justifying that shit, but it's a little bit different. See, because it's like to me, a French white man looks the same as a German white man. And if a French white man sold a German white man into slavery, I would be like, white folks are selling white folks into slavery. But to the French white man, he would be selling a German into slavery. Looking from the outside, I'd be like, yo, European selling a European. But even in Europe, right, you could say the European continent, but in Europe, you got different groups, and they feel that they're different. So a German don't mind killing a French motherfucker if it's about Germany. You know what I'm saying? If Germany and France got beef, they're going to kill each other. And we don't look at it as Europeans killing Europeans, white on white crime. No, that's war. So why is it different when it comes to the African continent? You got the Fulani having beef with the Khan. You got the Khan having beef with the Awe. You got the Awe having beef with another group. These are different groups and different peoples and different tribes and different nations. These motherfuckers having beef amongst each other. So when we allow motherfuckers to hit us with this argument, Africans sold Africans into slavery, that's an inaccurate statement and an inaccurate and illogical argument. English and Germans look alike. At one point, they all wanted to be of Norse descent, but they're not. Well, let me put it this way. They may be, but the issue is when an Englishman and a German is fighting, is not considered. When England and Germany went to war, it was not considered white on white crime. It was not considered white killing white. It was considered war. Germans versus English, right? And I'm saying the same latitude that they allow for theirs, we have to allow for ours. There was beef on the continent of Africa. Africa is not a single country. Africa is not a single people. I mean, I know some of us want to believe that shit, but that's not the case. We got different tribes. We got different groups. We had different nations rising up. We had different states rising up on the continent. On the continent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I know you understand, but it's just, but you asking the questions that are clarify for other folks out there that don't understand. Because all they know is, well, damn, we sold each other out. And we start feeling bad about that shit all. We were selling each other. Just like I woke up and I said, well, fuck it. I need some money. I'm going to sell Cleve.
That's messed up.
I mean, that's the way we look at it, right? I just woke up one morning and was like, fuck it. I need some dough. Cleve, go get Sasha Gina. I'm about to sell y'all niggas off into slavery right now. Now, it ain't happen like that. Them other motherfuckers on the other side that's been raiding and taking our cattle, right? I'm gonna catch them motherfuckers. When I catch them motherfuckers, I'm selling them off. Because they not us. They not of us. As a matter of fact, our whole mythic systems have probably came up together, and in some form of fashion, they represent something negative in my culture. Because we've probably been beefing for hundreds, if not thousands of years. All right, let me finish this nigga shit here. Sowell also wrote the region of West Africa was one of the great slave trading regions of the continent before, during, and after the white man arrived. At least he honest in his argument, right? So he's using somebody from back in the day. It was the Africans who enslaved their fellow Africans, selling some of these slaves to Europeans or to Arabs and keeping others for themselves. Even at the peak of the Atlantic slave trade, Africans retained more slaves for themselves than they sent to the Western Hemisphere. Arabs were the leading slave raiders in East Africa, ranging over an area larger than all of Europe. Now, on a global scale, y'all do know Europe is small. I'm just saying. West Asia is very small. Nice little corner of the world. I asked my friend if his anger over slavery extended to the countries like Brazil. Brazil, he said. Brazil? Harvard's Department of African and African American Studies professor Henry Louis Gates Jr., Skip Gates, who also happens to be black, wrote, between 1525 and 1866, in the entire history of the slave trade to the New World, according to the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. 10.7 million survived the dreaded Middle Passage, disembarking in North America, the Caribbean, and South America. And how many of these 10.7 million Africans were shipped directly to North America? Only about 388,000. That's right, a tiny percentage. So what you niggas mad about? Most of y'all went to Brazil. Why y'all mad? That's right, a tiny percentage. In fact, the overwhelming percentage of African slaves were shipped directly to the Caribbean and South America. Brazil received 4.86 million Africans alone. Yep, his name had to come up. So why y'all mad, man? Most of y'all went to Brazil. What you mad about? Kwame, why you mad, man? Why we mad, Kwame? We're not old, nothing. There's only a small percentage of us over here. Most of us went to other countries or was traded in the East African slave trade by the Arabs and shit. So what we complaining about? The Middle Passage wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as those people that was marched across the Sahara Desert. And the slave we had over here wasn't as intense as working in the salt mines in East Africa. So stop all that goddamn crying. The fuck you crying about? Nobody owe you shit, right? Right? You should just be happy. You lucky. We're lucky. Because we could have been working. We could be the descendants of motherfuckers that worked in the salt mines. You hear this? Do y'all hear? I want y'all to hear the argument, right? You're blessed. You're blessed. So why are you complaining? African tribes who captured other tribes sold them into slavery. For this reason, in 2006, Ghana offered an official apology Emmanuel Hagan, Director of Research and Statistics at Ghana Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, explained, the reason why we wanted to do some formal things is that we want, even if it's just for the surface of it, for the cosmetic of it, to be seen, to be saying sorry to those who feel very strongly and who we believe have distorted history because they get the impression that it was people here who just took them and sold them. It's something we have to look straight in the face and try to address because it exists. So we will want to say something went wrong. People made mistakes, but we are sorry for whatever happened. I don't understand one word. I understand the words, but I don't understand the totality of the words that this motherfucker just spoke to me. I'm serious. I just read words. It was a jumble to me. Political talk confused the fuck out of me. Because that was political talk, right? Where I say something without actually saying something, right? That's, you know what I'm saying? That's why we got to train politicians, right? We got to get them to be able to do the political speak, right? So that, you know, and understand the political speak so that I will have a reply that will equally be as unimpactful as the shit that this motherfucker just said, whatever he just said. So I ain't going to go back and try to read that again. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go back and try to read that shit. Over 600,000 Americans in a country with less than 10% of today's population died in the Civil War that ended slavery. While slavery was common to all civilization right so well, only one civilization developed a moral revulsion against it. Very late in its history, Western civilization. Not even the leading moralists in other civilizations rejected slavery at all. And no, after all this, my friend did not reconsider his name change. Larry Elder is a best-selling author and nationally syndicated radio talk show host. Follow him on Twitter at Larry Elder. I definitely will. I'm going to follow Larry Elder right now so that I can monitor this motherfucker and make sure that I'm able to read and decipher some of this black, white conservatism that this motherfucker is doing. I have to look out for those dark-skinned white people because they're very dangerous to the movement. So now to the libations. To the libations we go. Lord have mercy. Alright. Let me find my list. Let me get my help drink. What's the drink we're going to do today, Cleve? We want to do the flowers again. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. After reading that, after reading that, I need a shot. Let me get me a shot. I need some Phoenix blood in my life right now because the fuckery is real. The fuckery and the white magic is floating in the ether, and I need a shot. I need to immunize myself. Hopefully I get me a little bit of SCOBY in me so I can get these. Oh yeah, I gotta start the next part. I think I might be starting my Millennium the Urban Gems fast today. So I'm gonna have to go and buy some stuff. So yep, I got a little bit of SCOBY in there. We're gonna take our shot. Hot damn. It burns. Damn. Woo.
How long has that open set now?
Huh? That one is a couple of months old. That's that Phoenix blood. So this is the flour one. It's older. Experience. So here we go, family. First, giving honor to the creator by whatever name you choose to call that creator. We lift up our glass and we salute and we say, I say, that's right, that's right. From there we move to our ancestors, which are the stars of the show. Even though I read my mouth, they the stars. Alright. Once again, before I even get into this, anybody that knows a graphic designer, please hit me up 614-300-1875. I'm having problems with the print that I want to put on the shirt because I'm trying to upload it, but they're saying that I'm lacking some stuff and I need somebody who has the skills to work with the computer to make it darker. I'm going to try to do some stuff with it today, but I'm going to need some help. Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert the Texana, Davis, Herman Brown C, Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher, Fanny Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Finn, Cleveland, and Geneva Brown. Go take a shower, Cleveland. Because you ain't did no work. Go take it. If you could, fold that stuff up for me. Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Mark Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman L, No More X, Pat Maya Ra, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Algeny, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Thompson, Alfred Brofo, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling Lucy Wright, Daniel Pulling, the Luxor Brothers, Miss Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Lonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Carol Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rindelman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susan B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weller, Vita Farmer, Agosa Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Dillis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Linda Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thorne, Pearl G. Thorne, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thorne, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Worlds, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hadley Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Kayla, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Imatep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Frank and Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. From the pretty book. Ooh, she sure is. Oh my God. I feel so stupid. You are right, Kwame. Damn. I'm so. Oh. All right, yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with her. Oh man. I feel stupid. You are right. See, this is why I love family. This is why I love reaching out every morning, because it's like, yo, we keep each other in balance. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got somebody in the circle that I've been talking with on the bi-weekly basis. That's a goddamn graphic designer. I'm sitting up here, I need a graphic designer. I need a graphic designer. What the fuck? God damn. I feel stupid. Resources right there. Resources right there. So I will be reaching out to Miss Sherry Hamilton about my t-shirts. Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright. Finishing the Ancestors Ron McCormick Sr. So I just want y'all to hear that. Those that didn't know, my son Ron is a junior. I know that sounds crazy, right? So Ron is a junior. So Ron McCormick Sr. I'm saying Ron McCormick Sr. So don't call me. Ron is alright. Alright? Ron McCormick Sr. Sabrina Easley. Rayshawn Easley. Javea McCormick. Javea McCormick. Javea McCormick. Javea McCormick. Nevaeh Mitchell. Nevaeh Mitchell. Ozella Watson. Hugo Watson. John Caldwell Sr. Robbie Lee Caldwell. Charles Walker Sr. Charlie Walker. Cecil Russell. Diane Irvin. Haron Phillips. William Ford Jr. Margaret Logan. Phyllis Barnett. Lee Irvin Sr. Michael Irvin. Henrietta Irby. Mildred Armstead. Margaret Armstead. Catherine Anthony. Ruby Brown. Muriel Ellis. Elizabeth Battles. Jeanette Sanders. Jerry C. Sanders. Roy Pruitt. H.J. Brantley Sr. Henry Wilson. Rufus Jenkins. Minnie Wilson. Catherine Sanders. Baba Naeem. Tim Butler. Ramey Laura Newton. J.B. Foggy. Thomas Newton Sr. John Dewey and Ruth Beard. Ann Pierce. Donald Carter. Lily Green. Nathan Green. Bet Vaughn. Lud Alls. Elijah Alls. Rome Alls. Henry West Staton. Joel Jamel Alls. Miss Vanilla. Abbas Motley. Geraldine Elizabeth. Douglas Thompson. Erlington Houston. Albert Moore. Leroy Q. Heath Sr. Margaret Towns. Mary Williams. Martha Ford Dawson. Big Mama. Nanny Harris. Eva Ford. James Hairston. Mona Ann Lewis. Corneta Lyman Lewis. John Jackson. William Dallas Lewis. Mary Francis. Chappelle Jackson. Michael Slade. Joanne Perkins. Perkins. Richard Jackson. Vivian Stevenson. Neely Johnson. Fletcher Swan. Maddie and Charlie Scott. Doretha Ross. Riola Ross. Robert Nelson. Francis Stevenson. Leroy Stokes. Lester and Rachel Saunders. John Bowie. Alex Nixon. Eula and Andrew Baker. Patricia and Edwin Brooks. Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch. Kimball Vernon. Bradley Kim. Janie Harriet Tubman Cates. Spencer Sturgis. Sally Mae Baker. Ethel Baker. Creola Baker. Geneva Baker. Aaron Nino Baby Hatch. Hatch Sr. Mally Miller. Housie Hatch. Dad Cleveland. Mother Gibson. Alice Arnold. Arthur Arnold. Hattie Reed. Charles Reed. Aunt Becca. Archie Beck. Anna McGill. Charles McDaniel. Christine Cottrell. Lee Irby. Tom Irby. Roy Irby. Jim Gaucher. George and Haley Johnson. Archie and Margaret Armstead. Diane Scott. Erica Armstrong. Donna Hill. Richard Gleavers. Jerry Doyle. Amina Robinson. Mary Nichols. Patricia Williams. Shabaka Teray. Emma McClendon. Dan Wilkerson Sr. Ruth Carter. June Cox. Ruth Cox. Paula Cox. Ronald Irving. Judy Hubbard. Irene Johnson. Francis Boots Jefferson. Stacy Trice. Frank Smith. Mother Bertha. Michael Leonard. David Brown. Hazel Gatson. Jerry Brantley. Brian Watson Jr. Kaniko Parsons. Jason Cathy. Jennifer Sensenbaugh. Ada Pearl. Bob Ingalls. Jack Wallace. Warren M. Finch. Warren P. Finch. Tim Ingalls. Audrey Finch. William Billingsley Jr. Gene Holmes. Dana Jones. Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Peanut Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Phyllis Lee, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scanoberry. We lift up our glass in salute to all of those ancestors, and we say Ashe. From their family, we move to the present moment. The present moment, right? We know, right? I ain't gonna play it this morning.
Damn, Rod, come on!
Just came on.
What's the matter with you? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Wake up. There is none. Unity. My fault. I ain't mean to tell y'all what it was. But today is Umoja. Great Umoja to you. The Modic principle of the day is truth. The color is violet. The Hermetic law of the day is mentalism. If you're born on this day, male, it's Kwojo. Female, Ajwa. Right? So, we have an African-centered cultural virtue and value system. We had a warrior training coming up this weekend, so we're going to continue with our journey on the path of EEC, Emotional Emancipation Circles. We have in Wolof, the word or the virtue of the day is Taranga, sense of hospitality, Akan ethics. In Akan today, the virtue is truth. And in traditional Yoruba, or what they call attributes of good character, today is Suru, patience. Alright? So, in this moment, in this now, we lift up our glass and we salute. We salute ourselves. We salute the work that we're doing in a moment. We say Ashe. From their family, where do we go? Remind me, what movie? That is Rocky. It's the Rocky when he was fighting Clubber Lang. Was it 3? Because 1 and 2 he fought Apollo. Second one he beat Apollo, and I think the third one he had to fight Clubber Lang, and Clubber Lang beat the hell out of him. So Apollo Creed came back to train him, and Rocky was kind of moving slow and stuff, and Apollo got on him like, yo, man, come on, Rocky, what's up? He said, tomorrow, man, there's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. And then after that, that's when the song come on. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. You know, you like that song, right? Y'all like that song. Rising up to the challenge of our rivals. Y'all remember that shit, right? I wasn't the only one. That shit was good. Even though, we know the underlying message behind the whole Rocky fiasco, right? So, all right. But it's kind of a shame that I'm using Rocky, because when I think about it, they got a monument of Rocky in Philadelphia, but they ain't got one of the true champ that came up out of there, right? Smoking Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe. They ain't got a statue of Smoking Joe up there, but they got a statue of Rocky's ass, right? All right, but we raise our glass. Who sang that? Do we know? I don't know who sang that. I can look that up. All right, ask that white lady on your phone. Just say who sung Eye of the Tiger from Rocky 3. You know what I'm saying? Because if I say Google, you know what I'm saying, it's going to mess up everything right now. The group, something like name is Survivor. You got me now. You got me looking into it. Let me see. Who sung Eye of the Tiger? Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger. Who sang Eye of the Tiger? From Rocky. Survivor. I thought it's Survivor. I think that's the name of the group. Survivor. Yeah. Yeah. It's Survivor, 1982. 1982. Well, it might have not been in Rocky 3. Rocky music video, Eye of the Tiger. Okay. Well, they got one where he's fighting the Russian dude and one with Clubber Lang, but I'm thinking it's originally from the one with Clubber Lang. So, but the name of the group is Survivor. So, all right. You straight? Oh, you didn't watch it? Stop acting like you ain't seen them Rocky movies. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So now we toast our children's children, on to infinity. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? From here, we go to all of our relations. We say Ashe. Last but not least, it ain't even last, but this is that selfish libation right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what you need in your life. You know what you're asking for. When we toast our ancestors, whether we toasting them and we having fun like me and Kwame is discussing stuff right now in between the libations, or we doing it on a very serious. When we ask for our ancestors and our Creator to be here, they are here. So what is it that you need in your life? This is time for you. Right? Time for your family. What you need. Lift it up. Come on. I know my glass is heavy. You only got a couple of seconds. Can't hold it up too much longer. Come on now. What is it that you want? I say, last but not least, family, I toast the most powerful being in the room. And that's you. So I salute you. And we say Ashe. 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 Check it out. We wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. And family, I am up and I am out because I got to get ready to go to the adventure today. Well, actually, it's a day off, but I still work. It's crazy, right? I'll explain it to y'all one day. But in order to make some things work, I have to do other things. All right? Peace. Wow. So, all right. Here we go. We out, family. One love. Y'all have a great day. See you soon. We're gonna have a meeting. So be looking out for my text. All right. So this is Brother Hatim. I am out. My Nation Builders, y'all need to get ready. Nation Builders Warriors, we got some work to do. All right. Peace. I'm out. All right, Spreaker. We out.